Hello and welcome to another episode of Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists. And this time I'm very excited to be bringing you a Gem Knight FTK list that took second place at the Aylesbury WCQ. So this is Mario's list. It's slightly different from the sort of typical Gem Knight FTK list that you may have seen in previous months, but overall pushing through with those very strong combos. Taking out your opponent in a single turn, always great to do. So let's run through the list first of all. Triple Block Dragon is standard, 1 Crystal Rose, a triple Lazuli, triple Obsidian, 1 Glow Bob, a triple Rabbit, a triple Garnet, and a triple Lapis. So he hasn't opted for Tourmaline here, he's gone for the Garnet. It's just a slightly bigger body, and it gets you into some different monsters. Then triple Brilliant, double Called, triple Drag Down, 1 Burial, triple Fusion, triple Left Arm Offering. This is the slightly different thing, there are no armadillos in here. 1 Reborn, 1 Soul Charge, and triple Unexpected Die. Within the extra deck, we have a Lady Brilliant Diamond, triple Lapis Lazuli, 1 Master Diamond, 1 Seraphonite, 1 Zirconia, 1 Cloud Castle for the modern combos, because you can't obviously summon Master Diamond with the Fusion spell multiple times, so you have to find new ways into it. Then Curious, double Phantom Quartz, 1 Unicorn, 1 Link Spider for when you open multiple Gem Knight names. You can just multiple Gem Knight normal monsters, so you just turn 1 into Link Spider and then go from there. 1 Mrs. Radiant, and 1 Proxy Dragon. For the side deck, 1 Godala, double Humongous, triple Hatronade, triple Twisters, triple Evenly, and triple Red Reboot. So that is it for the deck itself. Let's get on to the siding strategy first. So, against a Trickstar Sky Striker, going first, putting in the triple Red Reboots, taking out triple Left Arm Offering, just deal with that Reincarnation. If you're going second, keep the reboots for the Reincarnation still, and the Evenlings in order to deal with the multiple back row that they may have set, because basically if you can deal with the back row, then you can just win the match. So taking out the Left Arm Offerings and the Drag Downs there. Then for pure Sky Striker, Red Reboots again going in and taking out Left Arm Offerings, and then for going second, you just need to deal with the back row or shut everything off, so you can have Hatronades to bounce them all back, Evenly to get rid of them all, or dropping any one Kaiju shuts off all of the Sky Striker interrupts, taking out the left arms and the drag downs, the core buys, and the one unexpected die. So a lot of these things coming out are sort of hand trap prevention, which pure Sky Strikers don't tend to have a lot of in the main, and they might choose not to have in the side either. Then for against Cosmo or Draco, surprisingly you can actually side in the same way for these two, and even if you're going up against that Cosmo Draco list, which we saw Jamie the Kid running, then you could do the same for that, I guess, too. So putting in the reboots and taking out the left arm offerings when going first, you just expect them to start setting up problems for you if there is anything. For going second, putting in the reboots, Evenlies, and the Kaiju again. And I believe this is taking out exactly the same thing as, against the pure Sky Strikers for the same reasons. Then against Crusadia, putting in the reboots, taking out the left arm offerings. This is exactly the same for every first, by the way. And then for going second, again, the same siding strategy, and for pure Draco, again, it's the same kind of siding strategy. You put in the reboots going first, and going second you put in the reboots and the mass removal, and the Kaiju as well. Alright, so that's it for the siding strategy. Let's get on to some of his comments on the deck and the rounds. So a few notes on the main deck. The main difference between his list and other Gem Knight lists is he's actually cut the 3 Armadillos, as we mentioned, replaced them with the triple left arm offering, and he's playing 3 Lazuli in the extra. Most videos show 2 card FTKs involving Rabbit and Brilliant, but the reality is that you're essentially filling in for the 3 card FTK, but by playing 3 Lapis in the extra, you can actually FTK off 1 Gem Knight monster and a Brilliant Fusion. So normal summoning a Gem Knight and then left arming for Brilliant is kind of game at that point. Armadillo does not synergize with left arm because it's a gem, not a Gem Knight, which is actually insanely relevant for the combo. He really wants to play VFD, the True King of All Calamities. He just couldn't find anything to cut for it. He actually summoned all 15 extra deck cards in most matches. Notes on the side deck. The theory is pretty bleak. A side reboot if you're going first, and he thinks that your opponent can afford. If you think your opponent can afford impermanence, going second, you leave Going second, leave their board as blank as possible so that I can combo or just beat them over 2 turns. Okay, so yeah, it's deciding in all the stuff to wipe off as much of the board as possible. You don't obviously need the battle phase, so you can afford to evenly them. Alright, so on to the rounds. Round 1 he went up against Draco Cosmo and went 2-0 here. Round 2 against Pure Draco, he went 2-1 bricked with sidecards in game 2, so that led to the loss, but then 1 out overall anyway. Round 3 against Crusadia OTK, the opponent won the die roll and didn't know what he was playing, so let him go first, and then swiftly lost. And then in game 2 he just won out because the board was not strong enough. Round 4 against Trickstar Sky Striker, he went 1-2 here, so his only loss I think. He went all in by normal summoning Garnet, then going left arm for Brilliant, but the opponent had draw, so the turn just ended there in game 1. Game 2 he opened Soul Charge, the opponent then just loses from there. And in game 3 he makes, so Mario made a misplay here by trying to clear the opposing back row, but not having enough cards in order to punch the opponent to death. So then the opponent just burned him out the turn after, as he's only on like 1800 life. Round 5, Crusadia OTK once again, going 2-1 this time. Really close games all around. They were on the same team, so they both knew what they were playing. The opponent obviously didn't let him go first at that point, but he did Ash the Rabbit, and then used Equimax to negate the Call by the Grave. So in the following turn, Mario got OTK'd. In game 2, Mario opened Soul Charge, so the opponent lost. And in game 3, they go into time in Mario's main phase, so he's forced to combo instead of beating the opponent down. He had to really think about how to get the right amount of damage on, as he had to use Quartz to fuse, so lost another 1k life every time, and they were already 2,000 apart, but he managed to burn the opponent and win by 200 life points, so it's very, very close. Round 6, Crusadia OTK, once again, lots of people playing it at this event. So the opponent knew what he was playing at this point, so doesn't let him go first, and tries to see if he can lock him out with Black Garden by summoning 5 tokens to the field, but of course Mario used those for Link Spider and Proxy Dragon and Unicorn, clearing them all out and then forcing the opposing Equimax negate, and then just burn the opponent to death. In game 2, the opponent opened 0 of the side deck cards and 0 hand traps, so Mario just punched/burned the opponent to death. Round 7, Pure Sky Striker here. Game 1, Mario actually lost this because he drew 6 going first by accident, and took a game loss here. So went first, game 2, he FTK'd the opponent, and then going second in game 3, the opponent didn't open very well, but made Shizuku set 3 and pass. But Mario had Hatrinade and just comboed off. Yeah, the opponent had Impermanence in hand, but used it on the wrong target, so he still lost, and Mario won out in this match. So a few final comments on the deck in the event. He said the event was really good. It seemed to be a decent pool of decks, lots of people playing Crusadia to counter the Sky Striker and the Trickstar Sky Striker strategies. Crusadia seemed really easy, as unfortunately they want to go second, and their turn 1 board does not stop enough of the combo to save them. In theory, Sky Striker is quite easy, but he only played one of them today, so it's kind of hard to validate that statement. The idea is that they play a low hand trap count, so comboing if you win the die roll is really easy. Going second game 1 is awkward, as the opponents were teching a lot of econ today, but again, depending on the opener, their interrupts aren't very strong, so can't really deal with him. Remember that econ can deal with the kaiju, which is probably the most important thing, so you won't be able to shut off everything with that. The side deck choices for the Sky Strikers felt perfect though. The deck's biggest strength is the lack of knowledge that the opponent has about how to hand trap the deck. People still Ash Rabbit, and it makes Mario giggle every time. Going forward into Soul Fusion, he may look into the new Dino Wrestler coming out and swap out the Evenlies, as they could be a bit weak versus the Thunder Dino deck, which will be out in 2 weeks. Depending on how he feels about the meta post Soul Fusion, he'll likely still take the deck to YCS London, but it depends on whether the meta becomes more hand trap reliant, and whether we'll see decks that actually can apply pressure fast enough against a weak opener. So Mario wanted to shout out YGOcity.com, Southern YGO, and Betty for being such a little babe. And congratulations, Mario, for taking second place at the Aylesbury WCQ again. Really great to see Gem Knight FTK pushing through all those hand traps and dealing that game-winning damage. Hopefully we'll see you on the channel again in the future. Thanks for watching this episode of Top Deck. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, leave them in the comment section down below. Check out the description for details of how you can get involved in this series. You can enter by voice interview, or instead you could just send all of your information over Facebook Messenger. Anything like that will be absolutely fine. If you want to see anything in particular from the upcoming series, then be sure to get in touch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.